Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Mining Conversation with MsTedy. And this podcast is proudly sponsored by MINTEK. Today we are joined by Dr Khuthadzo Mudzanani. Am I saying it right? Yes. And then she's just going to share her journey as a scientist in the mining industry, and she'll just tell us how that meets with engineering and. So before we start the interview, I just want to remind you to please do subscribe, like, share, and follow, and so that you do not miss any episodes. And let me welcome Dr. Mudzanani. I'm saying it right. You said all right. So let's just start at the beginning. How did you get interested in your field? You'll tell us what is it? Science meeting engineering.
Okay.
Just take us through the journey.
Okay. It started with the undergraduate degree, which is chemical engineering. So I studied further and then did my master's and the PhD, which just by default landed me into research and development. So on a daily basis, we are advancing science and research. So hence the science comes in, but the undergraduate degree is actually engineering. So I'm an engineer who does science on a daily basis.
Okay.
So, but ending up in a mining environment, it's because I got a job at MINTEK. And ever since, it has been mining research, mining development, and moving around in mining operations.
Okay, so which hat do you wear, a scientist or engineering?
I prefer an engineer.
Right.
I prefer an engineer, but when the shoe fits, you can call me a scientist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then what would your duties and responsibilities be at your current work, like with the work that you do?
Okay.
Yeah.
I am currently a research and development engineer.
Okay.
So we oversee project. I am currently overseeing 3 projects because, like I said, MINTEK it's a research environment. So that being said, there are projects. Some of projects comes from clients. Some projects actually come from the parliament, like the science vote project. So they give us money to fund us for certain projects that will eventually become. We are researching about a product which eventually must be applied in a mining environment.
Okay.
So I'm currently overseeing 3 projects, 3 science project in a way to develop certain product. Like I can give you an example. One is a particle size instrument development. So we are basically developing a particle size measurement instrument in mine to optimize the cost and the environment. So that's what we are doing. At the end of the day, when that product is applied in the mine, it becomes a win for MINTEK and the win for the government as well.
Okay.
So that's what I'm currently doing, and at the moment I'm still acting as a research leader for the instrument leg within measurement and control division. Yeah.
Okay, so you said it's 3 projects, and then
Yes.
the one that you just said right now, which I can't repeat, is that's the first project, and then are you able to tell us about the other 2?
Yes, I can do that.
All right.
Okay, let me start to say that, within MINTEK there are different divisions.
Okay.
And our division is called Measurements and Control, which basically what it is, we are doing measurements and control in mining. That's what we focus on. So the project that I just tell you about is for measuring. You see, like it measures a certain component within the mine. And the other one which I'm doing, which is a solvent extraction, it's one of the process within the mine. So we are doing the process control for that part, the solvent extraction. You know, like in mining, if you look at the flow sheet, it has this component within it. So we're trying to solve each of those. So I mentioned particle size and also the solvent extraction, and the other one is the activated carbon. So we are working on the what you called carbon in pulp.
Okay.
So that's what we're focusing on. Many moons ago, MINTEK developed this instrument. It's called C2 meter. It measures the carbon movement within the CIP process. So we keep on optimizing that process every day. We see something new, we want to optimize. We see there's something wrong, there's something challenging with that. We are optimizing on a daily basis, and actually there's no ending.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've also heard a lot, it's
Yeah.
been said a lot, that with our gold, though we do have gold in South Africa, but the problem is that it's too deep, so
Exactly.
it cannot be mined.
Yeah.
So would you say the projects that you are busy with are in any way helping in maybe mining resources easier, or making mining
most
of resources
definitely,
easier?
Teddy.
Yes.
The deepest mine in the world, which is called Mponing, in the world, in the entire world, it's here in Carltonville. It's like it goes how many meters deep? I forgot, but it's the deepest mine in the world. It's Mponing, and that's where our projects, the measurements and control, are functioning at. Like we are mostly focused on that plant, and it's because of that, like gold goes deep.
Okay.
So we try to look at ways, like if there's a challenge, we come and then we look at ways to sort of make that challenge better. So recently there was this when you go deep, it gets really hot.
Yeah.
And with heat, there's heat fatigue, and the people who are operating there, becomes a challenge for them. So recently there was this project that they were working on. It was to create a cooling system as deep as that mine is. So it was actually a process control. Remember, I told you our division is measurement and control. So we researched about a control system to control the cooling system as deep as that ground.
Okay.
So it was the most interesting thing. It was like, okay, what happened is that you're gonna go look at this situation and try to come up with a solution, and if we like what you're proposing, we're going to give you this much, and then you continue. And you know what happened was that we come up with this non-linear modeling. One of my bosses, gone now, came up with that modeling to assist with the cooling system, and then they went in there and then they proposed. 2 days later, full payment was paid. Full payment. They're like, okay, no, it's not like the proposal and things like that. No, we like it and we want it. And then it was implemented within the mine. Millions of rand was paid into the company's bank account, and that was a major.
So as much as I mentioned, with the challenges that the gold is too deep and stuff, there is hope that one day we are going to be able, or that gold will be able to be mined.
Yes. So it's like that. It's like, as much as you can only solve something that the problem has been, they notice that there is a problem, and then like, okay, our problem is a cooling system. Okay, let's see what we can do. Okay, now our problem is, what is the other challenge that comes with the deeper? Maybe they can't identify the gold, because sometimes you need to detect it. We can't detect it. Or maybe there's a problem with the collapsing, the structure is not properly. Those kind of challenges, they will solve the problem as it gets noticed.
I hear you. So because mining is a male So with mining, we know that it's still a very much a male-dominated industry. So in the field of work, your field of work, are women getting in, or do you have female colleagues? And what would you say the reception is when it comes to women in your field?
Okay. Currently, our company, because maybe it's a research in mining, actually the statistics, it's like 48%, 42% male, female, which has been a major development given the previous years. And Yeah, the gender pipeline, it's an issue in almost every uh, career bend we can think of, and especially in engineering. But so far, 2024, I was just looking at the statistics overall that, yeah, as much as the speed in which we want women to dominate the engineering environment, especially mining, but we're doing good. Our company is one of the example that I think the last time it was 48% male, maybe because of research, and also there's also the career development that our CEO is pushing. So like everybody should study, and it's a good thing for women to go into that. Yeah, but so far the statistics looks good. Yeah, we might get there soon enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just also want to understand, when you were young, what compelled you to study, to pursue this field of work, study? Because I'm thinking at the time, we hardly ever hear about engineering, and so what persuaded you to pursue
I
it?
think for me, honestly, because back then internet was not a huge thing. I have a wonderful maths teacher. Our maths and science teacher is the one who take me through the career journey and show me all the interesting career. And it's like, look, engineering, you're gonna get paid a lot of money. You'll be rich. I'm like, okay, yeah. Who doesn't want to be rich, really? So that's when I decided. I asked my teacher, okay, but which engineering? Because you mentioned a lot of them. It's like, okay, the one that hasn't been untapped on is the chemical engineering. Honestly, I studied chemical engineering because my maths teacher said you will enjoy it, given what you're doing good on maths and science, and then you're going to get good marks, you're going to get enough score points to get into university and do chemical engineering. And I came in here, Bramfontein, first year, it was difficult. I'm like, no, you led me to the wrong path. This is not right. But as time goes on, I think the one thing that drives me so much is wanting to learn. If something challenged me, I want to learn more of it. So you might come and say something and then I don't know anything, but trust and believe that when I get out, my mind will be like, it will be telling me I need to know that. So in me facing the challenge on first year, I wanted to know more, and then in wanting to know more, I ended up excelling, and before I know it, I'm here in mining engineering, and it has been good so far.
And then there's a student currently in university right now, thinking of persuading, what is it, PhD, or has that dream to obtain a PhD. What does it take for a person to get there, to have that PhD? I'm Dr. Zmangmang now, and maybe if they're listening and watching and they want to know how do I then do that and finally get that PhD.
I will tell them it is the best time right now to advance your career to PhD. A friend of mine always joke about and say, you are not a dropout. We are the dropout who finish under the undergrad. So you go all the way to NQF level 10. It's amazing. It's a great time right now to pursue your study all the way to PhD. Though for me, it was more like a force of hand. Like, I did my master's, there's no opportunity available. So what else do I do? Study further. But little did I know that, actually I didn't even know that this is going to be one of the things that's going to get me to places where I am right now. It takes a lot of everything, and you must have a bigger goal in the end. Where exactly do you want to see yourself? PhD is basically life. That's what most PhD people will be talking about. It takes your entire life, and if you're not really ready for it, or you don't, you have other options, you're just doing it because you want to do it, it's not going to be easy. You must do it because you don't have an option like me, or you're doing it because you have a bigger goal. You see where you're going, and hence that's why I'm saying right now, besides the government pushing statistics for people to do PhD, it's a great time to do PhD because there's a lot of opportunity to be where you are. Like, I remember when we came into MINTEK, because the CEO is pushing PhD, there was a lot of managers who felt like they were not respected enough because they don't have PhD. So I'm like, but if they just decide to do it, it was going to be easier for them. So if there is a student out there who would like to do a PhD, I'll tell them there's no better time than now to do.
So how long did it take you to obtain it?
PhD took me, like I said, it's life. So it took me 5 years. 5 years of doing things right and doing things wrong, learning, and sometimes falling out. So it took me a good 5 years with so many breaks in between. Yeah, I even had a baby in between.
You had a baby PhD.
Yeah, I have a baby, I call PhD. So it took me 5 years. It can even go as long as 6 years. But at the end of the day, when you start it, don't drop out. You have to do it all the way to completion, because you'll thank yourself when you're done with it.
So what do you love about your job? What is it like that you love?
It's because of, okay, first of all, in doing masters and PhD, I realized that I actually enjoy doing research, and research is what we're doing on a daily basis. And on top of that, it's in mining. Mining, the reason you're interested in mining, because you've seen that it is one area where, for lack of better word, it's one area where, it's money. There's money, lots of money. Governments want to invest in mining because it contains those materials that we use on a daily basis. Yes. So basically, it's because mining, it's one area where we get to mine all those valuable the valuable materials that are very rare. Like, we can't just find them lying everywhere. So, and they're valuable. Like, for example, you just spoke of gold recently, and there's a lot of alloys that we need for application in aerodynamics in the airplanes. We need more of the light metals in there. So hence, that's why I feel like it's one area that it will never get boring. It's just keeps on getting interesting from time to time. And given the flow sheet of the entire mining process, there's a lot to learn. Like, in our company, we have a lot of division. You can move around. So I like that. I don't think it can ever get boring. Yeah.
Okay, I hear you. So are you able to, or may you kindly share with us your achievements since you started working in this field? And so what have you achieved in terms, maybe something that you did a research, or I don't know, you can just share with us something.
Let me see. Okay, there are little small achievements along the way, but
don't call them small, they're achievements.
Honestly, the biggest achievement for me, it was getting the PhD, really, because it's that in that PhD where a lot of things happened after. So I can say getting a PhD, and the most recent one, it's patenting the PSI technology, being part of that, where we have a prototype and saying that we have a particle-sized instrument which we worked hard, and then now it's gotten to have a patent. That was amazing. And and
then now you want to call that small. That's a big achievement.
So it's like that every day. There's something that happens and you get to be proud of. You're always looking forward to something. Right now, I'm looking forward to becoming the research leader that I'm acting on.
Nice.
Yes.
Beautiful. So let's just go back again to the mining industry. What would you say are the major challenges that are faced by the mining industry that need urgent attention?
Okay. I think 6 days ago, if not 7, there was a parliament address of mineral resources. The department, they changed names. They just recently changed names. So we call them DMRE, but they changed name. So there was a parliament address, and then our CEO was also addressing and he was also talking about the challenges that they face. In one of those, it was actually the regulation compliance that they face. Like already right now, you might have a good product that you mine out, but then now, because there's already regulation compliance in place, it gives challenge to that for the material to end up being standardized. And say, now let's say you find this alloy, like a good alloy, it works fine for cars, light cars, or like what I said, maybe an airplane, you find it's good and it's working, but now you have to get the regulation compliance, and then it becomes a hurdle to actually get there. And that's one thing they're facing. And the other thing is, mining is a very slow-paced environment. That is a blessing and also a challenge at the same time, because if it's slow-paced, then it means that the instrument which was done in, let's say, 20 years back is still applicable now. That's a good thing. But also at the same time, now we're doing, 5 IR, and mining is still somewhere in 2 IR or something like that. So it's a blessing and also a curse at the same time, being slow-paced. And like what I said, the PSI instrument, if it gets applied in mine, if the mine is still going to remain slow-paced, it's still going to be there for like 40 years to come, and we're still going to be getting money for it, which is a good thing. But now, with that slow pace, it means that the production is still as low as it is, which is also a bigger challenge. And also another thing, I'm thinking a lot of challenges. The other thing is, what happens when the material that is being processed, it's run out? Sustainability, like what you just said, the gold that was on a much lower surface, now it's much more deeper. What happens then? You have to look for alternatives to go deeper, or now you close the mine. You have to go look for another side to mine at. And the environment issue, like, with the, what you call, at FNB Stadium, there's mine dumps there. So at the end of the day, it becomes problems to the environment. Those mine dumps, what needs to happen? Even up until today, they haven't found the solution. Those mine dumps, people are squashed in Soweto, and there's mine dumps around it.
Instead,
where people...
it attracts zamazamas.
Those kind of things, the environment issues. And from the top of my head, those are the challenges that I can think of. And one other thing that just came to mind is that these mining environments are always in a very remote area, and people are not even interested to go there. You want to stay in the city where you can go to Gold Reef City every now and again and see your people, but you want a job, and the mine is like far, far away. Go Rustenburg, somewhere, go Limpopo there, and you wouldn't want to go there. So in that way, it becomes challenges. They don't attract talent as much as they want to, because I wouldn't want to be that. I have kids that I want to send to good school, and there's no good school close to the mine.
When you say that, I remember when we had another guest, I was asking him, is it possible to work remotely? Because most of these mines are very far, and I'm used to Gauteng. Now I have to move to another province just because I need to work in a mine. And you find I don't want to go there. So the guy was saying, no, you need to be in the mine if you want to work. I was like,
you most definitely.
So I hear what you're saying.
You need to be where the operations are, so you can't dodge that. Even though recently they are coming up with this thing, it's called digital twin. So you get to be in a mine environment while you are in this one. So you just... people are doing amazing stuff. It's a digital twin, so now you get to operate things. Let's say like this instrument that I'm talking about, it's in the mine, it has problem, and we want to troubleshoot it. So somebody came up with this camera thing where you do a digital twin. So you can just do like a camera, a person take a camera and say, this is the picture, this is what's happening, and then you reproduce it in a computer, and then you can get to operating, and then press the button and see if it doesn't work, because you are the one who understands the instrument much better. You press that button. If it doesn't work, you go and do the entire troubleshooting. So there are also those kind of, you see, it's a problem that brings the solution. It's in people facing those kind of challenges to say, I don't want to be in operation every time. I can be somewhere in another country and still being managed to troubleshoot. Yeah.
So what changes would you like see happening in the mining industry?
The changes, not much really, because I think after COVID, a lot of changes were put in place because of the challenge that came with it. I guess maybe for more people to know about it, like sometimes we want to protect the knowledge, but at the same time we don't know what we're hindering by putting that knowledge out there. I would really like for more people to know about what's happening in the mine, and yeah, the change in the gender equality to just keep on happening. More women in mine, more people actually studying and focusing on the mining and mineral processing. Yeah.
Okay. Please share your last words to anyone who will be watching. Might be a student, might be somebody who's working in the mining industry but wants to advance their career, might be a government official who's working at the Department of Minerals and Energy and Resources, whatever that they call it. And just share your thoughts or your words of about the mining industry. How does a person get in? What do you need to do? What still needs to happen? How do we make it better? And the person who's coming in, how do they make it better? Like the students who are still in matric, and so just share your words. Just free flow and say what's on your heart about the industry and the changes you want to see, the people that are coming in, the stakeholders. How do we make it better for everyone, basically? Yeah.
It's hard one. But I'll start with the students. When we were in varsity, they have this mining event that goes on. They'll be wearing the helmet and the entire thing, and they'll be chanting outside Great Hall. That was beautiful. Keep that happening. Do not let that go. And also, mining engineering, it's a good environment to be at, and there's a lot of changes that are to come. So yeah, if you're interested in mining, please go for it. And to the government officials, not really to the government officials, let's just say to the entire world, to say when you see a challenge that is happening and that needs to be addressed, fight hard to be part of that. Be part of the solution, and don't just look away. Like the example that I just gave you with the mine dumps, that's a challenge in itself, and it's because people are looking away and they're not doing anything about it. So that becomes a more and more problem, and as time goes on, it becomes more. So when there's a problem, don't look away, address it, and if you can become part of a solution, be part of a solution.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Dr. Mudzanani, thank you so much for joining me today, sharing with us your knowledge about the industry, the work that you do. So thank you very much for talking to us.
You're welcome. Thank you so
that
much.
was Dr. Mudzanani. She joined us today. She's a scientist. She studied chemical engineering, and she has a PhD in engineering. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching this episode, and I'm going to ask that you do subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. You like, you share. Please tell your friends and family and whoever about this podcast. And also, I would like to thank the sponsor, MENA. This podcast was not going to be possible without them. I would also like to take this time to thank my team as well, who are doing an amazing work in making sure that we do have episodes continuously. That would be Kamuhelo Malangabi, he's the content producer, and there's Treni, who's the technical person, and Musa Baloyi, who's also a tech person, and also Unkele Khatebe, she does my makeup. She makes sure that I look this beautiful. So thank you. Until next time. Goodbye.